it's Iain at RTO. Welcome to Friday. Live album ranking today. But before we start, I had a really nice message from a guy yesterday saying how much he likes my in-depth ranking. So thank you for that. And he's asked me to do he's suggested some bands, and he's suggested Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, because they've been asked by one of you guys. I will certainly do them. And the other band he's asked is Accept, except I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'll be doing that one as well. I haven't got much of their material, but I've sourced it already, and I shall start listening to it this week. But the other three bands, they're my favourite bands, so I've literally written out their how the order I want them, because they don't change much. So for the guy that I suggested they'll be in. One of them will be probably in the week after next. I don't know which one yet. I haven't decided. So going back to today, it's Jethro Tull's live album. Got 11 to look at. They're all good. I like them all. So again, like I do most with the live ranking shows, it's just about quality, continuity, sound and all that sort of thing. So no honourable mentions this week because most of their live stuff is official. So let's get started. So coming in at Coming in at number 11 is an album from 1992 called A Little Like Light Music. Song was recorded on the Europeans semi-acoustic tour, and the band was Ian Anderson, Martin Barr as ever, Dave Pegg and Dave Mattox, and they play you got a flute, mandolin and harmonica, acoustic guitars, mandolin, snare drum, glockenspiels and all sorts. So it's a bit of an unplugged version of Jethro Tull, recorded all over Europe. Continuity on this is pretty good. You wouldn't know that it was from all over the place. All that lacks this is that some of the songs just don't sound right. Semi-acoustic. So we got on here, we've got Someday the Sun Won't Shine for You. That's pretty good. I like that version of that. Living in the Past, no, for me it doesn't work. Life is a Long Song sounds fine. Rocks on the Road, not too bad. Under Wraps actually sounds pretty good. Take away the synthy sound and it's a pretty good track actually. Then we got Nursie, that doesn't sound too bad. Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die, sounds pretty good. One White Duck, that doesn't sound too bad. A New Day Yesterday, no, I'm not really got into that. John Barleycorn, no, it just doesn't sound right. Look into the Sun, it's not too bad. I mean, it's an instrumental anyway. It doesn't sound too bad. A Christmas Song, no. From a Deadbeat to an Old Geezer, that doesn't sound too bad. This Is Not Love, that's alright. Bury, no. Pussy Willow, it's an instrumental version of it, no. Locomotive Breath, I'm sorry, I find the arrangement's a little bit not quite right. Okay, some really nice songs on this album, I must admit. Some of them work, some of them don't. But it's still an enjoyable album. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have Live at Hammersmith 84. was recorded on the 9th of September at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. On here we have got Iain Anderson as ever, Martin Barr, Doan Berry on the drums, and Peter John Fortes on the keyboards, and Dave Pegg as ever on the bass. It opens up with the Locomotive Breath and Hunting Girl, just like they did at Milton Keynes when I saw them. Brilliant. The sound on this is a lot better than obviously at Milton Keynes, because you haven't got the wind blowing and outside. Great versions of that song. Under Wraps sounds really good live. Much better than the studio version. It's a lot heavier. Later that same evening sounds a lot better. Pussy Willow is great anyway. Living in the Past, solid. Locomotive Breath and Too Young to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. It's a solid little album. You know, if you just want a quickie of some Jethro Tull, that's an album you can go for, because it's got some great versions of the songs on there. And it's the best version, I think, of Under Wraps. It's the definitive version of Under Wraps. So I'll give it an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 9, we have got Live at Montreux 2003, released in 2007. This was also a video and live album, recorded at the Montreux Jazz Festival. And on here we have got Iain Anderson, Martin Barr, Andrew Giddins, Doan Berry, Jonathan Noyce. There's some good songs on here. Someday the Sun Won't Shine For You, another good. Life Is a Song's good. The version of Bury on here is fantastic. I'll put that in the playlist, because it's the story that goes with it for me and is brilliant as well. With You There to Help Me, Pavane instrumental, Empty Cafe, Hunting Girl. They do Urology from one of Iain's solo albums. They do .com, which again is probably the best version of .com I've got. God Rest Ye Merry Gentleman, Fat Man, Living in the Past, Nothing Is Easy, really good version of that. Beside Myself, My God, got them Budapest, New Jig, Aqualung, Locomotive Breath, that sort of goes into Black Sunday as well. Now, listening to listing them songs, solid songs, but what lets this down is the atmosphere on it. In some places it just doesn't sound live. I know it's live because I've actually seen the DVD to it. It just lacks audience clapping. Don't know what they were thinking. You know it's live also because he does talk, and there is a little bit of talking on it, but unfortunately just a little bit lackluster in atmosphere. It's still a good album though, don't get me wrong, and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 7.8. But if this would have been more the crowd and a more atmosphere, this would have been much higher. Okay, coming in at number 8 is an album called Nothing Is Easy, live at the Isle of Wight in 1970, released in 2004. It was recorded on the 5th and last day of the Isle of Wight Festival of 70, where Jethro Tull was second on the bill between the Moody Blues and Jimi Hendrix. Band on here is Iain Anderson, Glenn Cornick, Clive Bunker, Martin Barr and John Evan. So you've got all the real early stuff on here, and it's a solid album. My Sunday Feeling, love that. My God, another great track. With You There to Help Me, very, very good version. To Cry You a Song, very good. Bury's good. Dharma for One, excellent stuff. Nothing Is Easy, of course. and we used to know for 1,000 Mothers. Very nostalgic, except Iain does sound a little bit worse for wear. I think, I don't know if he's been on the pop or smoking some dodgy stuff, but it just sort of spoiled the performance in places, because he just waffles and is all over the shop. But I do like listening to it. It's a great little set. I mean, there's a lot of controversy about this concert anyway, but for the quality of the songs, I mean, they were very good, and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 7 is an album called In Concert, recorded again at the Hammersmith in 1991 and released by the BBC in 1995. On here it features Ian Anderson, Martin Barr, Martin Alcock, Dave Pegg and Dwayne Perry. Opens up with a brilliant version of Minstrel in the Gallery and Cross-Eyed Mary. It's one of my favourite Jethro Tull songs. This Is Not Love, pretty good version. Rocks on the Road is a stunning version of that. It's like Heavy Horses. I love that song anyway, and I love this live version of it. It's really good. Tall Thin Girl, again, very good version of that. Still Loving You, pretty cool. Thick as a Brick, just an edited version of it. Doesn't matter how small or large it is, it's still a classic. A New Day Yesterday's really good. And then we have a little blues jam and Jumpstart. Again, I like these little single albums of some Jethro Tull. Very pleasant to listen to, very good production, flows lovely as well, and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay, coming in at number 6, it's the most current live album they've put out. It's was released last year in 2020, and it's live in Sweden 1969. So we've got Ian Anderson, Glenn Cornick, Clive Bunker and Martin Barr. We've got My Sunday Feeling again on here, pretty good. Martin's Tune, nice long proggy thing. To Be Sad in a Mad Way to Be, pretty good. Back to the Family, all these really early bluesy Tull songs. Dharma for One, Nothing Is Easy, and The Songs for Jeffrey. Very good version of that. Very, very good album this is. It's very short, of course, but it's nice to hear these early recordings of Jethro Tull, and they was absolutely on top form for this gig. And I give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in number 5 is Live at Carnegie Hall in 1970. Okay, it was released on a vinyl LP in 2015 for the Record Store Day. It was recorded in 1970 at Carnegie Hall, 4th of November. Now, I've actually got this part of the 25th anniversary box set of Stand Up. It's a bit been edited a little bit, but it's still very good. So on here we've got Ian Anderson, Glenn Cornick, Clive Bunker, Martin Barr and John Evan. Some good songs on here again. Nothing Is Easy, My God, With You There to Help Me, By Kind Permission Of. A Song for Jeffrey's on here. A Cry You a Song. Soul City, You're a Woman, Reason for Waiting, Little Medley, Dharma for One, We Used to Know, a guitar solo, and For 1,000 Mothers. Okay, as I said, it's quite edited in places, but I'd say of the really early stuff, this is the best quality sound. I don't know if it's because it's on the remaster, but it sounds absolutely stunning. Song for Jeffrey on here is absolutely brilliant. Nothing Is Easy is a brilliant version, and Dharma for One again, absolutely stonking versions. And for that reason, I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.6. Okay, coming in at number 4 It's an album called Living with the Past. It contains music from the Apollo performance in 2001, and it also has stuff from other little concerts around the time, and it includes some of the stuff off his solo albums. So here we have got quite a few people, because it's from all over the place. Ian Anderson, Martin Barr, Andrew Giddens is on here, Jonathan Noyce is, Dave Pegg is, Dwan Perry and Mick Abrahams is as well. Glenn Cornick plays on a couple, and Clive Bunker. So we've got My Sunday Feeling, another good version. Roots to Branches, absolutely belting version of this. Jack in the Green, very good version. The Hamborough Reel, one of Ian's solo stuff. Sweet Dreams, good. In the Grip of Stronger Stuff, brilliant version. Aqualung is as good as ever. Locomotive Breath is as good as ever on here. Living in the Past, also good. Protect and Survive, little insert from that. Great version of Nothing Is Easy. Wandering Aloud, little excerpt from that. Life is a Long Song, pretty good. A Christmas song, I don't like that one, never have. Cheap Day Return is pretty cool. Mother Goose, a little bit of that. An outstanding version of .com, and a brilliant version of Fat Man. Someday there's one, Sun Won't Shine For You, good version, and Cheerio. Very good album. The continuity on this is fantastic as well. You wouldn't think that it's taken from various concerts. Flows really well, the sound is good. So I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, coming in at number 3. Aqualung Live. It was a live performance of the album Aqualung before an audience of about 40 invited guests at XM Studios in Washington DC. The music, all the money from the went to charity. It's okay, people say it's not a live album. It is, because they sat down and played it live in front of an audience. That considers a live album to me, regardless of how many people are in the room. On here we have got Ian Anderson, of course, Jonathan Noyce, Dwan Perry, Martin Barr, Andrew Giddens. Songs we all know and love. Aqualung, really, these are all really good versions of this album. Fantastic album as it is. So we got Aqualung, Cross-Eyed Mary, Cheap Day Return, Mother Goose, Wandering Aloud, Up to Me, My God, Him, Slipstream, and a fantastic version of Locomotive Breath and Wind Up. A little unique album, a little gem in my eyes, and I'll really enjoy this a lot. So I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Now, when it comes to the top 2, as I was getting this ready yesterday, I swapped them over. I had to thought, I'm not quite sure, so I had to listen to bits of it, and I thought, no, the sound on the one, my number 1 is a little bit better. Both from the same tour. So the first one coming in at number 2 is live at Madison Square Garden in 1978. A video come out of it. I have put some of a couple of tracks from it. It was released in 2009, and it was recorded on the 9th of October 1978. Recorded on my 12th birthday. On here we've got what I'd call one of the classic lineups of Jethro Tull, Ian Anderson, Martin Barr, John Evan, Barrymore Barlow, David Palmer, or D Palmer as he likes to be known now, or she, sorry. Got guest musician Tony Williams on bass. Some classics on here. We got Sweet Dream, great drum. The wonderful One Brown Mouse, great version of Heavy Horses. Side 1 of Thick as a Brick, fantastic. No Lullaby, wonderful version of Songs from the Wood. Quatrain, little instrumental bit from Martin Barr. Great rendition of Aqualung. Locomotive Breath with the Dam Busters March in the middle of it. Too Old to Rock and Roll, To Die Too Young, really good version. And My God, Cross-Eyed Mary. This was so close to being number one. It's a little bit edited in places and it doesn't flow as well, but it's still a great album. So my number one, oh, better give it a ranking, hadn't I, before we go on. I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9.4. There was me charging on, because I'm going to talk about my favourite live album from Jethro Tull. So my number one, again a live album that came out in 1978, recorded on the European leg of the Heavy Horses tour in May and June of 78. It's Bursting Out, of course. Why did this get the nod above the other one? It's just the banter in between the tracks on this is absolutely hilarious. Iain Anderson on the European leg seemed to be absolutely on fire, having a great time. Got the great lineup, of course: Iain Anderson, Martin Barr, John Glasscock, John Evan, Dee Palmer, David Palmer, Barrymore Barlomo. Get the introduction from Claude Knobs. Then we get No Lullaby, fantastic. Sweet Dream, Skating Away on the Thin Ice of New Day, brilliant version. They all swap instruments in that, which is pretty cool. Jack in the Green, again a fantastic version of that. And a stunning version of One Brown Mouse. Best version of that I've got. A New Day Yesterday sounds brilliant on here. Then we have a little flute improvisation. God Rest You Gentlemen, Bury. Pretty good. Songs of the Wood on here is good. A great version of Thick as a Brick. It's only, what, 12 minutes of it, but it's absolutely stonking. Then we get this too. An introduction to Hunting Girl from Iain Anderson, which is hilarious, as usual. Then you get Hunting Girl. It's another great version of this. As much as I love the bit with the Locomotive Breath when I saw them, to me this is the best version of Hunting Girl, without a doubt. Too Old to Rock and Roll, again, the banter that he tells of the story, brilliant. Conundrum, great instrumental. Minstrel in the Gallery is fantastic. Cross-Eyed Mary, fantastic version on here. Then we got Quatrain, that little bit that then goes into Aqualung, stunning version of Aqualung this is. And again, another brilliant version of Locomotive Breath. And this ends up with a Dam Busters instrumental. The reason this is number one is that the sound quality on this actually blows Madison Square Garden out the water. The continuity is brilliant. The banter in between the songs, it actually makes you feel like you're there. I just love it, and I think this has got some of the best versions of the songs by Jethro Tull. You know, you've got some the definitive. I mean, Cross-Eyed Mary on here is fabulous. Hunting Girl's fabulous, and Locomotive Breath as well. They're these outstanding tracks. Thick as a Brick, although it's only a shortened version, it's still fantastic. So I'll give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay. Great band, and I'm so looking forward to their new album. And I know you guys like Jethro Tull because you've been watching the studio albums, and I'm sure you'll be all watching this one as well. So we'll be back later for the One Hit Wonder. We're doing a little bit of proggy later with Mark Kelly's Marathon. Mark Kelly, of course, coming from Marillion. How can I forget Where He Comes From? One of my favourite bands. This morning while I was pottering around, I'd give Dream Theatre's new album Mother Rat listening. Pretty cool. So that's for next week. So I will see you later. Take care for now.